So, as I said, good morning. And we are going to start with a little Kundalini Kara. This is a short practice. We'll do 5 minutes, and it is to reduce anxiety, something maybe you need, hopefully you don't, but something that I have noticed helps me to not get into any of the election angst. Whatever happens, I am focusing on our work will be to come together, honoring the diversity among us and remembering our wholeness, our healing comes from that honoring. So I have a bender ball underneath my backside. You might use a blanket, a pillow, a block. You want to help it let it help you to roll your pelvic bowl forward, to zip up your spine, to relax your shoulders, and you'll feel that little arch, a slight little arch in your low back if you are successful in this posture. Think about ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. It might need for you to take that chin back just a little. And then as you do get this alignment, you'll feel that you can take bigger breaths. There's more space inside of you. That's going to be important for this practice. It has a breath count to it that you can modify in any fashion. You can start out with a smaller count, and then the invitation is to work up to a count of 8 on the inhale, a hold of 2, a count of 8 on a slow exhale, and then a hold of up to 15 with the breath out in a complete surrender. And this surrender is about faith and trust, believing in a divine flow and a divine force that our ego doesn't always understand. It's a letting go of control. It's a release of resistance. It is just holding in this void of no breath, no air, knowing that it's all going to be okay. And then you get to inhale again, hold, exhale, and then hold the breath again. The mudra is all 10 fingers held together, thumbs into the side of the hands. And the hands are placed across the top of the chest with the elbows resting towards the floor. So take a minute to find your posture, your mudra, your breath. Kiras are traditionally done with the eyes closed. And this will be our centering practice today. I'm not going to count because I think I'm finding we all have different counts at the beginning. I just invite you to turn inward, observe the breath, breathe in, and then hold, breathe out, and then hold for an extended period. Start when you're ready. And keep going with your breath. You're doing a Ujjayi breath in and out through your nostrils. Let yourself hear the sound, the back of your throat as you do it. Let that audio sound take you deeper into your practice. Finish your last round of breath. Keep the eyes closed or hazy. Drop your hands, palms up in your lap, and just take a moment to notice yourself. Notice any changes from just 5 minutes ago. Any benefits, any shifts. Maybe there's angst. How about releasing angst? Fear is like that, can really have tentacles in us. So important to practice. Practice releasing, practice presence, practice being still in faith and trust. And take time to notice your parts and your pieces and intentionally release any holding, any resistance. Keep the posture, but relax the tension. Bring the hands into a prayer mudra. Press the heels, the mounds, the fingertips. This mudra helps to integrate the two hemispheres of our mind. You can bring your thumbs to your third eye if that's comfortable for you. And imagine the mind coming together as one whole mind, which allows you space between your observer and the mind to remember you're not your thoughts. Thoughts are malleable. You can direct your thoughts throughout your practice. We're going to say nice things to ourselves. We're going to dump out the thoughts that no longer serve us. We're going to direct our mind to be a cheerleader for us, and you can take this cheerleader with you after your practice. Practice kindness from the high mind and infuse it in to the two hemispheres, the logic and the creativity of your mind. Next, layer your hands across your heart. Let your hands bring you home to deeply connect you with yourself. To remember that you are not your emotions. Emotions are messengers giving you specific guidance about the choices you're making in your life. What are you drawn towards that brings you joy? What are you repelled away from that where you sense suffering, sadness, lack, grief? With your hands over your heart, bring forth that unconditional love that you are and transform all your emotions into messages that you're willing to receive and heed and ponder and feel. It's not about not having the emotions, it's not about denying them, but it's also being aware of when we become them or suppress them. With a connection to yourself, set an intention, make a mantra for your practice today. Maybe it's around something that I mentioned, and maybe it's around something else that's specific for you. What do you need to enhance within your own mind, your own heart, your own body? What quality, what virtue, what aspect of essence do you want to grow inside your mind, inside your heart, inside your body, in your actions, in your reactions, in your speech, in your perception? And slowly release the hands, open the eyes, just take a minute, or not a minute, a couple seconds. And then we're going to lay down on our left side. We're going to catch our head with our forearm. We're going to bend at the hip crease, make a 90-degree angle there. With a 90-degree angle under our knees and our 90-degree angle at our ankles with our toes stacked. So take a moment to stack the shoulders, rest the head, stack the hips, stack the knees, stack the ankles. Bring your right hand to the top of your hip and pull your belly button into its core. We're going to keep that contraction in our abs. And we're going to separate our legs and make circles forward. This is going to bring movement into the hip joint. It's going to help build muscle around the hip and flexibility. And if this feels too easy, you can add on straightening the leg and pointing the toe. Keep everything stacked and let's count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back it up, go the other way. If you feel fatigued, bend the knee. If you straighten the leg. For 10, 9, pull your belly button in. 8, 7, bring a little smile to your face. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest that right foot in front of your left thigh and straighten your left leg. Keep the stack of the hips, the contraction of the core, you can hold on to your ankle to keep yourself there. And then flex your left foot straight out from your body. Hover it over the mat and then lift it up and down. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll onto your back. Bring both thighs into the chest and bring your hands around the shins. Draw your elbows towards the floor. Concave and press your low back. Concave your belly and press your low back into the mat. Keep your neck long, your head heavy. Just create a little squeeze, a little massage for the internal organs. On your next exhale, release and lay that left leg down. Bring that right thigh deeply into your chest. Your elbows are drawing towards the bottom of the mat. Your head is heavy. Your eyes can be open or closed. Your breath is long. You're breathing. Ujjayi breath in and out through the nostrils. Little wind removing pose here. We're going to bring it in to another hip stretch, drawing the knee into the armpit, taking the left hand to grab that right foot wherever you can. And you can just hold this. You can rock. You can add movement here. You can take it up a notch and bring the calf into the crook of the elbow. Just give that right hip a nice stretch. Breathe in awareness. Exhale out any unneeded tension. Hips hold so much in the way of energy about our physical experience, purpose and passion, support, relationships with ourselves, relationship with others, our work, our finances. If we feel belonging or a lack of belonging. When you're ready, tuck that top of that foot behind the left thigh and roll onto the left hip. Keep the right shoulder relaxed and glued along with the left shoulder and extend the right arm out. Look over the fingertips. So here we're lowering that right ear down. We're rolling that left shoulder away. You're creating a nice stretch from your tailbone up to the top of your head, of your spine. And then you can add on by sliding your fingernails on the floor, bringing that right elbow into a cactus, so a 90-degree angle at the elbow. The elbow rests, the back of the hand rests, or the tips of the fingers, and you feel a slight little stretch in that right shoulder. And breathe, and breathe. Come back to center. Little ball again. And this time, as you press your belly button down into the floor, you can add on by lifting the shoulders, the head. Don't close the chin. Don't tuck the chin. Keep the top of the head reaching long and just fold yourself into a little ball. Again, massaging those inner organs. Make your way out. Roll back onto that left side. Catch your head. Set up just in the same way we did before. And then keep the toe mounds connected and do some clamshells. So open and close. and open and close. And let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you're feeling it, you can always give yourself some love taps, just a little fist all along the glute, the hip. Now we're going to roll onto our belly. Take our arms out like airplane wings and rest that left ear on the mat. Pick up your legs and release the flesh so that you land heavy. The neck is getting stretched if you really release the shoulders down, away from the ears. We're going to come into half frog. Slide your right knee towards your right elbow and then make a 90-degree at your front of your ankle. Flex your foot and then just melt the front of your right hip towards the floor. Breathe in and exhale out. Pay attention to your left arm. Make sure that it's straight out from your body. 5 fingers are spread wide. And then slowly draw the right hand towards you. Elbow goes towards the sky and roll onto your left side. If you can, lift that right leg up and stack the hips. If you can't, you can drop the foot behind you or in front of you. This is a stretch for the front of the left shoulder. You're going to adjust it with this right hand. You can roll more to the mat to take the stretch out. You can press into this right hand to accentuate the strap. You're holding that right leg up with a pointed toe or you're resting it down. If you have it up, you can play with lifts. So taking a pointed toe towards the ceiling, keeping that core contracted for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll back onto your belly. Press your hands at your nipple line and press back into child's pose. Untuck your toes. Let your hips fall to your heels. Devotional your arms. Keep the throat open and just stretch from tailbone to crown. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. Come up into box pose, hands and knees. Tuck the toes, spread the fingers wide. Sweep the right hand up, thread it underneath the left armpit. We're stretching the back of the right shoulder now. Your head is turned and looking at your left elbow, or if you have the flexibility, look up to the ceiling. Either way, let your eyeballs go a little bit farther than your head can look. Give them a nice stretch. Breathe. Press back with your right hip. Breathe and breathe. Press into the left hand to accentuate the stretch. Soften it to take the stretch out. Come on out. Other side. Left arm, inhale it up. Exhale it through the armpit. Lay it down. Press into the right hand. Press back with the hips. Pull your belly button in and feel the stretch in the back of your left shoulder, your rhomboid. Make your way up and out and come down to lay on your right side. So position yourself to fit your need. Catch your head with your forearm. Make those 90-degree angles. Activate your belly. Let your hand hold that hip back. Separate your legs and circles forward. So think about what you're doing. Keep that core engaged. Add on with a pointed straight leg and count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step that foot in front of the thigh, straighten out the lower leg, keep the stack, press out with the right heel, and lift and lower that right leg. Pull your belly button in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll onto your back and into that little jackknife or wind. Oh no, we came into a ball first. Come into a ball first. Sorry. Draw the elbows towards the heels. Open the throat, soften the face. Say your mantra here. Say it a few times. Let it land in every cell of your being. And then straighten that right leg. Come into the jackknife or the wind removing pose. Keep extending the elbows towards your bottom, towards your feet. Make sure the shoulders melt away from the ears. Slide the knee into the armpit, grab the foot. See how this feels. Maybe you hold it for a bit. Maybe you rock it for a bit. Maybe you cradle it. Just breathe. Feel the hip stretch. Relax. Soften your cheeks. Say something nice to yourself. Be encouraged, an encourager for yourself, a cheerleader. Let your breath be powerful and anchoring, keeping you present with your body. Inhale awareness and exhale, surrender any distractions, any places the mind goes, bring it back to the breath, gently, lovingly. And then make your way into the twist, tucking the toe, rolling on to the right side, extending that left arm out, looking at it, lowering the left ear down as you make sure this right shoulder stays down and back. So you're just wringing out all the energy, the thoughts that do not serve you anymore with love and gratitude. And then slide your fingernails on the floor and come in to that shoulder stretch. It's a tiny little stretch, keeping the elbow heavy, the shoulder heavy, the ear heavy, the fingers touching the floor, if not the back of the hand. Release back into the little ball, and if you like, add the lift of the chest. Roll onto your side. Catch your head, and let's do those clamshells. So the toe mounds stay where they are. You've got that 90-degree angle at the hip under the knees. And then you're just lifting that knee towards the ceiling. Pull your belly button in for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can give a little love taps if you need them. And then come to your belly. Turn your head so your right ear is on the mat. Arms are extended out. Take a few breaths and melt your body into the mat. Say something nice to yourself and then say your mantra. Draw your left knee to your left elbow, flex your left foot, lower your left hip, melt a little more. Check on that right hand, make sure it's straight out from your body with 5 fingers spread wide. Slide your left hand towards you. Roll onto your left hip. Remember, you can bend the foot and drop the foot to the, or bend the leg and drop the foot to the floor. You can modify using this left hand. You can add on straight leg lifts for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll onto your belly. Hands at nipple line, press back into child's pose. Come back forward. Turn around on your mat, or I need to turn around. Walk your knees back. We're going to come into plank pose. Bring your head forward. Have your arms underneath your shoulders, 10 fingers spread wide. Soften your elbows and lift through your crown. The add-on is to tuck your toes and lift your shins. Pull your belly button in and think about getting long from your heels to your crown. And breathe. And if the wrists are something you're not doing, you can be in dolphin plank. And let's count to 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. If you want to take it lower, bend your elbows. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come all the way down. Roll onto your back. Walk your heels towards your buttocks. Take your arms out like airplane wings with the palms facing towards the ceiling. Make sure your mind is relaxed. Your throat is open. You've got lots of air available in your lungs, lots of space for air. We're going to roll with our hips and our knees pressed together to the left. We're going to look over to the right. And just let that twist happen at the waist. Come bring the knees back to center and drop them over to the right and look over to the left. Look over your fingers. Feel the little twist, little stretch. Sweep the knees back to the left. Take the right arm, sweep it up to the ceiling, and roll onto your left side, bringing your right hand a little bit farther than your left. And stretch. Then inhale and open wide again. Lay that hand down. Look over those right fingers. And then flow with your breath. Inhale up. Sorry, I have that backwards. We're going to inhale as we open. We're going to exhale as we close. So just make that small little adjustment. And let's do 3 and 2 and 1. And rest that hand down, draw those knees up and drop them over to the right. Left hand floats up. So we have to take an inhale and then exhale, float the left hand to meet the right fingertips and stretch. And then inhale, open, float it to the floor and exhale, close. And inhale, open, and exhale, close, and do 3 on your own. Roll back to center. Bring your heels towards your buttocks. Bring your hands, fingers reach towards the bottom of your mat. Then slowly lift the hips and take the fingers, if you can, to touch or wrap around your heels. We're going to do bridge flow, lowering the hips down and lifting them up. So down is the exhale, up is the inhale. Squeeze your glutes, press your knees away from you, and keep your throat open. So don't bring that chin down into your chest. And let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll onto your left side or right side, whichever side you're on, and come up to seated. Bring your right shin in front, your left heel towards your body. Peel away the flesh. And then zip up the spine. Bring the hands overhead. Wiggle 10 fingers. Bring movement to your wrists and relax your shoulders. Bring that movement to still. Take the arms out to the side. Turn the palms upward. Rotate the shoulders back. Kiss the shoulder blades. Keep your hips heavy and start to twist. So we inhale to the left, exhale to the right. It's like a little breath of fire, sort of. You're pumping the air, using the abs to contract and expand, and do it. Twist. Keep the hips square forward. Move your shoulders. Take your eyes behind you as you twist. Move your head. Come to still, relax the hands down, bring the hands over the knees and ungulate. So concave the belly, drop the chin, bring the shoulders forward, blow out all the air here. And then inhale, bring the heart forward, lift the gaze, drop the elbows and the shoulders, and flow back and forth. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Come to still. Drop your right hand to the mat, slide it out, bring your left hand up and over, and just pulse a couple times, looking up towards the ceiling. And stretch. Keep that left hip heavy. Hold the stretch when it feels right. Right elbow bends. Lengthen from the hip through the fingertips. Stretch the neck by looking past and behind that left shoulder. Breathe. We're going to drop that left hand to the right knee. Slide the right hand towards you and twist. Turn your body. Look over towards the right. Keep that left hip where it is. We're going to fill our cheeks with air. So we're going to have puffy cheeks and just move that air around and count to 10. When you're done, come back to center, sweep the arms up. This time, come into cactus arms with a 90-degree angle under the armpits and at the elbows. Spread 10 fingers wide. Kiss the shoulder blades together. Pull your belly button in. And we're going to do those twists. So inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Hold the cactus. Move your head. Come to still. Drop that left hand down. So this next face yoga is scary face. So oh, we're not there yet. We have to do our stretches. But scary face, so reach that right arm up while I tell you about scary face. It's just opening your mouth in the biggest oval you can and opening your eyes. And we'll do that in just a moment. When you're ready to hold this stretch, push that right hip down, reach with those right fingers, roll that right shoulder back, take the eyeballs behind you. Our field of vision narrows as we age. We need to keep stretching it so we can see and sense what is happening around us. And then drop that right hand down, slide that left hand back, turn the body, and do 10 little scary faces with the shoulders dropped away from the ears. And come back to center. Switch your shins. Sweep your arms up. Come into the cactus. Drop the hands down and lift them up. And drop them down and lift them up. down, inhale up, exhale down. Make puffy face here. Drop your hands all the way down behind you. Walk your pinkies together. Arch your back, lift your heart, keep your throat open, but don't drop your head back. So this is 1, 2, you interlace your fingers, drop your knuckles, stretch across your chest, open your throat, and then open and close your mouth like you're chewing on a huge piece of gum. Count to 10. When you're done, come on out. Sweep your arms up. Take the back of your left hand to the back of your right thigh, top of your right thigh, and bring your right hand behind you. This time, see if you can look over that right shoulder. We're going to do little sips that strengthen the muscles, the scalenes in the neck to help tone up that neck. So staying tall through the crown, belly buttons pulled in, deep twist in the waist, looking behind you, stretching your eyes. Take your lips like there's a really delicious shake behind you. So take them back behind you and then sip on the straw 10 sips. Do 10 more. Come on out. Sweep the arms up. Bend that right elbow, bring the left hand to it. If it's too much, just grab your forearms. Keep the heart forward and the throat open. Stretch that bicep. If you want more, sweep that left hand behind you, interlace your fingers, and come into cow face. And breathe, and breathe. Keep lifting your heart. Keep relaxing your shoulders. Keep lifting your crown however you are. Switch sides. Both arms come up. Left arm bends. Grab the elbows. This is my tight side. So I think I'm just going to stay with forearms grabbed. I really get a little glitch in my shoulder. So you find what's good for you. You know the add-ons. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. Keep that belly button pulled in. Shoot both arms up, back of the right hand to the top of the left thigh, left hand behind you. Get tall through your crown. Take your eyeballs behind you. Twist at your waist, keeping that right hip planted, and then bring the lips behind you. Do 2 sets of 10 sips. And release. Get a drink. My water bottle wasn't closed. I just dripped all over. Then come to hands and knees. Find that box pose. Sweep your left arm up. Thread it underneath like we did before. Adjust with your right hand to find the right stretch. You can stay here or add on, taking that right foot back, sweeping those toes towards the fingertips, And then looking up, turning your neck towards the ceiling. And if it feels okay, lift up that right arm. Pull your belly button in here. So this is 2. You can stay here or challenge your abs. Lift your right leg up. Bring your left hip forward. Point your toe. Balance. Wherever you landed, whatever you chose, come out and let's do the other side. Right arm sweeps up, threads underneath. Adjust the twist with your left hand. Rest your head. Then you can stay right here or step back. With that left foot, bring it to your toes and look up to the ceiling. Pull your belly button in. The add-on is to open up that left arm and maybe lift up that left leg. Bring that right hip forward, that bottom hip, point your toe, kiss your shoulder blades together. Breathe and breathe. And come out. Always places and things to play with. Tuck your toes. Exhale up into our downward facing dog on the balls of your feet, on your hands. If your wrists are bothering you, come onto the ball of your hand. Take your wrist out of the equation. As you lift your hips, you can align your ears, and then you can pedal your heels and stretch the calves, the ankles, the tops of the feet. Alternating one heel down, one heel up. Pull your belly button in. Drop both heels down. You can widen your feet if you're still tight. Find your pose. We're going to dump out our head trash here. So shake your head. Let that head trash come out. Shake your head. And then come to still and say your mantra. Slowly bend your knees, walk your hands to your toes, come into your first forward fold. You can bring your feet together so there's 2 fists width apart. Make sure your belly is glued to your thighs. Then grab your elbows, lower your forearms, lift your hips, shake out your head trash again. What is that garbage that keeps you in fear or shame or disconnected from the oneness? Release what you're holding and roll up one vertebra at a time using your abs, letting the top of your head be the last thing that you roll up, and find mountain pose. Walk to the back of your mat. Find mountain. So you can use your foot to set those 2 fist lengths between your feet. Align the outside. Zip up your spine. Relax your shoulders. Sweep up your arms. Swan dive. Bend your knees on your exhale. Take your arms out. On your inhale, lift your chest. Kiss your shoulder blades together. Shine your light and say your mantra. Bring your hands into prayer. Sit down in an imaginary chair, bringing your buttocks back. Pull your belly button in, drop your shoulders out of your ears. Exhale into a forward fold. Walk out into a downward facing dog. Drop your heels, lift your hips. Bend your knees, walk them to your hands. Find your forward fold. Release your hands, roll up one vertebra at a time. This time, sweep your arms up. Stay in a salute or steeple the fingers and find a back bend. Find your way to a swan dive. Lift the heart, open the fingers. Transfer into the chair. Balance on your right foot and lift up your left foot. You can always place your toe on the floor if your balance is a challenge. Keep your elbows out and your crown tall. Step back with that left foot and come into warrior one. Your back foot's at a 45, your hips and shoulders are square. Bring those prayer hands overhead into a steeple, warrior one. Bring those hands back to prayer. Take a twist, bringing the left elbow outside the right knee. Look up over your shoulder. Drop your hands down. Hop your back foot forward, forward fold. Roll up with an inhale. Sweep up, stay there in a salute, or come into a back bend. Make your way into a swan dive. And into a chair. Weight into your right foot, come up on your left toes. Lift the toes to challenge your balance. And breathe. And breathe. Step back with that left foot. Square up your hips, your shoulders. Stack your knee over your ankle. Arch your back. Steeple your fingers. Exalt. Bring your hands to prayer. Come back into that twist. So we've done two on the same side. If you did the other side, it's okay. We're just do two more. Just modify. Drop your hands down. Hop your back foot forward. Roll up. Sweep up. Back bend if it's for you. Come into a swan dive. And back into a chair. Weight into the left foot. Come up onto the right toes. Lift them up to balance. Pull your belly button in, release your shoulders. Step back. Square off, warrior one. Stack the knee, release the shoulders, arch the back, exalt. Warrior one is about the relationship with yourself. How much time do you spend exploring that? And yet, it's the only person you're with your whole life. Hands to prayer, find your twist. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. You're balancing. Hands to the mat, step it forward. Roll up. Exalt, reaching towards the ceiling, or steeple the fingers and back bend. Come on out and find a swan dive, just the top. Kiss the shoulder blades, open the palms, open the mind, open the throat, open the heart. Sit in a chair. Weight into the left leg, come up onto the right toes. Lift them off of the ground to practice your balance. Sink down to challenge your left glute. Step back. Last one, warrior one. Can you say something nice to yourself? Do you practice that Louise Hay mirror talk where you can ask yourself what you need, how you're doing, what you're afraid of, what you know? Find your twist. I love twists because they give us a different perspective. So look behind you, up over that left shoulder. What might you be missing? What might the lens of your personality be blocking? And then relax down. Walk that left knee back and come down to seated. I'm trying to look at my list, see if we got everything. 11:11, my favorite time. Bring your left shin in front. Peel away that flesh. Sit up nice and tall. Poke your hip crease. Walk forward. So here, if you're tight, you might grab a block, place your forearms on it. We're hinging at the hips. We're keeping the spine long and tall, so we're not rounding down or closing the throat. We're keeping the heart open, the throat open, the mind open. And it's a nice little stretch for that left hip. And breathe. And breathe. We're bowing to Mama Earth. Press your sitting bones down. Find length through the crown of your head. We're bowing in humility. So we're owning our power, our strength, but inviting in with this bow, innocence and softness, compassion. Walk your hands to the right, slide that left hand forward, press that left hip back. Keep your chin out of your chest. Keep that Ujjayi breath going. Listen for the breath at the back of your throat. And then roll that left shoulder down towards the floor and look up over your right shoulder. Inhale your left hand to your right knee. Sweep your right hand up. Turn and kickstand it behind you. Look over that right shoulder. Keep the left hand where it is. Bring the right hand to the left knee. Knees can come up. Concave your belly. Drop your chin. Drop your knees. Open up the back of your heart. So back here is where we often store our stories. Good to look at the stories we tell ourselves, the stories we tell about ourselves, about our journey. And just take time sometime to Keep them true, but take out the victim, the blame, and the defense. Insert in them how they were opportunities for you to learn and grow. Release, switch those shins, and let's do it all on the other side. Poke the hip crease, press the hips down, bow forward. So now we're stretching the right hip. Use blocks or modifications to meet your needs. Think about lowering the chest, keeping the throat open, and a string is pulling the top of your head long. Walk your hands to the left and stretch out that right arm. Press the right hip down and back. That left elbow is bent. Feel the stretch from your hip to your armpit, from your armpit to your fingers. And then when you're ready, lower that shoulder, turn the head, stretch the eyeballs, look over that left shoulder. Say something nice to yourself. Right hand's going to find the left knee, left hand's going to find the sky, get tall, turn, twist, then kickstand behind you. Look over that shoulder. Drop your shoulders out of your ears. Make your way out. Full frog. Let's try it. Last pose, and then we'll get into our resting one. So take your knees as wide as they can. You're on your arms or you're on your elbows. I kind of find it easier to be on my elbows, but that's my body. So you might find it easier to be up on your hands. Your knees are as wide as they can go. And then you flex your feet like frog feet and take them out to the side. And you can rock back and forth here, just feeling this big stretch in the hips. Or you can lay down, crocodile your arms, and just sink into a still state, a static stretch. Let your knees keep sliding out wider. Keep pressing through your heels. Keep drawing your toes towards you. Find your version of this pose. And then make your way out gently. Come up into box. Tuck your toes, set your knees, separate your fingers, and cow and cat. And if cow and cat doesn't feel right to you, just bring in any kind of organic movement and breath. And come to still and sit on your mat. And maybe you take a moment to add socks. It's snowing here in Colorado today, or a sweatshirt, or you grab a blanket to have close to you for your savasana, maybe other props, maybe an eye pillow, maybe you squirt a scent. We're just going to do a little neck stretches and go down for our savasana. So an easy seated pose. Hands draped over the knees, the pelvic bowls rolled forward, ears, shoulders, hips. We're going to take our chin down to our chest, bring our chest forward, drop the chin, lift the chest, heavy the elbows. Feel that stretch. Imagine any stress, any tension rolling off of the shoulders here. And slowly roll over and look over the left shoulder. Keep that right shoulder down. Keep that left shoulder down. Look behind you, stretch your eyeballs. And then look down and lower your chin. And then lift your chin up and look up. And go up and down 3 times. Next time you're up, stay up and roll to look up to the ceiling. Drop your shoulders away from your ears and just feel that stretch in the front of your neck. Then roll over and look over the right side. Take the eyeballs behind you. Lower that left shoulder, lower the right shoulder. Keep the core engaged. Then drop your gaze down and drop your chin down. Then take your gaze up and lift your chin up and go up and down 3 times. Inhale up, exhale down. Come back to down. Roll your chin back forward and come back into neutral. You can grab a drink. You can do a roll down. Or you can just lay down. If you do the roll down, peel away the flesh, glue the heels down, lift the crown up, pull the belly button in, and imagine you're rolling one vertebra at a time, starting at your tailbone, and you're going to end at the top of your neck. If you're already down on the mat, just take a minute in a little ball. Bring your thighs in and just rock massage those back of the hips, the back of the glutes. And then make your way. Sorry, I didn't have my phone off. Make your way into your Savasana, or if you needed any other last little stretches, take those. Add on the things that are good for you. Maybe you're adding a bolster under your knees, a rolled towel, a beach towel with some rubber bands around it are super nice. Maybe you're putting something under your low back, under your neck. If your low back is bothering you, bend your knees and bring those knees together. So feet wide, it's called TP knees and knees together. Or you can layer your thighs over a piece of furniture, couch or chair. You can place your legs up against a wall. You can cover your eyes. You can close your eyes. You can stare at the ceiling. Let yourself relax and then check in with your body to see how your head did, what your head came up with. Does your body agree with? Adjust if you need to. It's not supposed to suffer here. We're supposed to relax. Stay awake, aware, and alive. Please don't disassociate or go into dreamland. We're practicing the muscle of presence. We're practicing being with ourselves for just a few moments, releasing tension, distraction, holding, bringing consciousness to what we're doing with our toes and our feet and our knees and our hips and our shoulders and our head and our elbows and our hands. Can you open your hands a little bit wider? Can you take out the clenched fist? Can you take out the arthritis, the closing of the hands? They relate to the heart. We want to keep that heart open. Open for ourself first and foremost. Say something nice to yourself. Maybe thank yourself for all that it did today, whatever it did. And then realign your observer. Make sure it has lots of space, that you haven't gone down any rabbit holes, you haven't left your practice. Imagine yourself seated as your observer, as the observer you are. Be a witness to yourself. You can watch your thoughts, you can notice where they try and take you, but from a wisdom standpoint, just say, not right now. I'll get to you in a little bit. Right now, we're just going to be right here. And as you relax and still your body, as you separate from your thoughts, it's easier to notice those little subtle sensations of the heart. It's easier to remember the truth about who you are. And just stay where you're at, breathing, relaxing, remembering. Remember who you are. Say something nice to yourself. Say your mantra. You can stay here if you want to for longer. Simply ignore the rest of what I'm going to share. Or if you need to leave at 11:30, like I do, take a stretch. Roll to one side and slowly come up to seated. And your seated might be a hero's pose. Your seated might be a lotus pose or just an easy seated pose. And then bring the hands to heart into prayer mudra. And there is a Kundalini chant. It's Sat Nam. And it invokes peace in ourself and in the world. And so I'm not going to chant it. I'm just going to invite you to say it with me 2 times. The first time, send it out to someone who needs it. And the second time, receive it for yourself. So take an inhale and say with me, Sat Nam. And then again, Sat Nam. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste. Let me end this recording.